Okay, here we go. Hi, everyone. I'm here with Kat, Francesca, and Monica, and we decided that we wanted to put together an exercise class for individuals with Down syndrome. So to start off, I'm just going to give you a description about the demographics of Down syndrome. It's caused by a trisomy 21 of the 21st chromosome. So that means there's an extra copy of that 21st chromosome. It occurs in 11.8 per 10,000 US births. In individuals that have Down syndrome, it causes mild to moderate intellectual disability. It limits their adaptive skills and can also cut their lifespan to around 60 years old. It also predisposes them to health issues. So during childhood, individuals with Down syndrome, I think about 60% of them have congenital heart disease, and that manifests in either septal and valvular defects. They're also predisposed to respiratory illnesses such as pneumonia and chronic bronchitis. And into adulthood, we see a deterioration of the functional capacities due to dementia of Alzheimer's, the Alzheimer's type. And I think the occurrence rate is similar to typically developing individuals. However, individuals with Down syndrome experience Alzheimer's symptoms much earlier, I think up to 20 years earlier. Adults with Down syndrome also are susceptible to recurrent pneumonia, and they also have sensory impairments, including hearing and vision. They also have orthopedic issues. Individuals with Down syndrome present with hypotonia or lack of muscle tone or decreased muscle tone, joint hypermobility or laxity, mostly in the hips, shoulders, and necks, and also reduced muscular strength and eccentric control. So kind of the combination of these three issues predisposes individuals with Down syndrome to a lot of orthopedic issues, which makes them great candidates for exercise and physical therapy.
So I will touch on Down syndrome and obesity in children. So about 17.1% of children in the United States are obese. And the incidence of obesity in people with Down syndrome is about 31 to 47%, which is pretty high, which is why we chose this population. The risk of obesity increases in those with Down syndrome after 2 years of age. And then compared to children without Down syndrome, overall, children with Down syndrome have combined overweight and obesity prevalence from 23 to 70%. They also have a higher BMI, decreased participation in vigorous activity, and due to having obesity, they could be at risk of getting type 2 diabetes, which contributes to our problem here with just them not being in shape. Go to the next one. Thank you. And so on this slide, I talk about some associations with obesity and Down syndrome. So their physiological mechanisms are that children with Down syndrome do have hypothyroidism, or they can have hypothyroidism, and this could really cause a slowing of the body's metabolic rate. An article said about 30 to 50% of children, school-age children with Down syndrome do have hypothyroidism, which is a lot. And then secondly, decreased metabolic rate, like I was just saying. Your metabolic rate is your amount of calories that your body burns at rest. So it has been seen that children with Down syndrome do burn calories slower at rest, which is they burn probably about 14% fewer calories than others without Down syndrome. And further, all this contributes to decreased muscle tone as well, which contributes to why they don't burn as much calories. And then they have increased leptin. So leptin is a hormone that your body produces that helps regulate food intake by stimulating satiety and promote energy expenditure. So with kids with Down syndrome, they have an increased amount of leptin, which causes the body to become desensitized to the hormone, which further, decreases their ability to regulate their food intake. And lastly, they have really poor mastication and weak mastication muscles. So a lot of children with Down syndrome have a difficulty chewing really fibrous or really hard food like raw fruits and veggies, which could make them ultimately eat more softer foods, which could be higher in carbs, fats, and sugars, which could further contribute to the obesity problem in this population. They have low activity levels due to multiple comorbidities, any defects they might have had at birth, or any other further complications. They have some behavioral issues like impulsivity, disobedience, and difficulty concentrating, which makes it hard to really create an exercise program for everybody that works for everyone. And also, like I said, diet regulation and compliance when it comes to, parenting. It's kind of hard to kind of force your kids to eat healthy every now and then, especially when they already have problems chewing. So it kind of just, we need to figure out something with that.
All right, so why is this resource needed for this population? Just having physical therapy and fitness programs are needed for individuals with Down syndrome due to the key presentations Trent and Monica kind of already touched on. So we talked about how they have motor developmental delay, increased hypotonia, decreased strength, peak aerobic exercise, and increased ligamentous laxity, which then for orthopedic issues wise, it puts this population at a risk for abnormal and prolonged postures and quicker than the normal population degenerative joint disease. It's also common that these individuals have cardiac issues, hearing, vision problems, decreased motivation to be active or make healthy lifestyle choices. So then, like what Monica was talking about, they're more prone to being obese, which increases the risk for hypertension due to the decreased balance and vision and kind of a coordination problem. They have that decreased balance will probably increase their rate for being a fall risk. So based on this presentation, these variables may hinder the independence and become barriers for their functional mobility. Like an example, they're not able to walk far distances without having to take several breaks or ambulating upstairs and downstairs in a timely manner, or just dealing with chronic musculoskeletal pains. So physical therapy and fitness have shown to decrease the risk of these common presentations and help this population just live a healthier and more productive, independent life. Research has been completed by Dodd and Shields in the last 20 years. They included some systematic reviews and randomized control trials, and they're all practically revolved around the potential changes and benefits that can happen with balance and strength exercise programs for specifically individuals with Down syndrome. So they've seen significant changes in being able to complete functional activities like the times up and downstairs test, 6-minute walk test, or 30-second sit stand, which then has this carryover. And the conclusion of this research just shows that these types of programs can improve individuals with Down syndrome's ability to complete ADLs, functional tasks, and thus live more independent lives. So many adolescents and adults that participate in these family or community activities tend to be more happy and live more productive lives. So it's a viable service that we can provide for this population, just so we can increase their activity levels and overall just quality of life.
Okay, so with all that said, we've decided to make a community-based exercise program for this population, which consists of 2 45-minute classes. They meet twice a month. The first class is going to be a group exercise class, which is going to be led by volunteers who will come up with games and activities for these individuals, so we could make it more like a fun and enjoyable and like environment for them. And then the second class is going to be like a sports day or an adventure day where they either pick out a sport to play or they go on a hike with the volunteers. Our goal for this program is to improve overall strength, cardiovascular fitness, and improve their balance. Classes will take place at a local park and equipment will be provided by the volunteers. So this is going to be like an example of one of the group exercise classes that we're going to have. They're going to be divided into 3 sections. Each section is going to be about 15 minutes long. So for the relay race, we'll be providing TheraBands for the kids, and they could do monster walks, and then side steps for strengthening, heel toe walking and walking backwards for balance, frog jumps, skipping, and then hopping on one foot again for strength and balance. And then we have the partner activities where they're going to be kicking or passing a soccer ball with each other, dribbling, passing, and shooting basketballs. They're going to have an obstacle course and play the floor is lava, and then freeze tag. So then we will end the day with musical chairs. And again, the sports day and adventure day. And here are our references. Thank you.
Thanks.